We are the lazy, opinionated punks, and we are going to review a video from Pat Robertson, who thinks atheist parents should have their children taken away.
This first one is from Elizabeth, who says, Pat, I'm very concerned because this past weekend, my 6-year-old grandson said that his dad told him God and Jesus were not real and were just made up to scare people about dying. I tried to explain the truth to him, but he won't believe me. I'm worried for my grandson's soul.
Well, you should be. If there's any way you can get that child away from it, this is his grandfather who's telling him this.
It's his father.
Father telling him that.
So I don't know if that's her son or her son-in-law. She doesn't really say.
I don't know. And but if there's any way you could get him enrolled in a Christian school or get him into some, they have daily vacation Bible school and things, or a youth group. There are all kinds of things you could do to kind of get him into some positive influences.
You know, another thing that would be great for her would be Superbook.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's all Bible stories, and it's
get a set of that and show it to him and see what happens. All right.
Yeah, let's get the kids taken away from their parents, because their parents have their own damn opinion, and let's send them to a whole other school and teach them all of your crap, but let's not let them learn anything that's opposed to your religion. So.
Yeah, not to mention, parents whose kids are actually being taken away from them for whatever reason because they're fucking drug addicts or numerous reasons. But to have kids taken away from atheist parents because you believe that it's dangerous for us to have custody of our children, like as if we're putting them in danger for not learning about God, or God forbid that we teach our kids how to, have morality based on just because that's the right thing to do and how to be the best possible human being you can be. Not because some supernatural higher power is telling you to and threatening you to, basically, because if you don't, you're going to go to hell.
And all of that kind of stuff aside, I mean, you have to flip the script here. Like, think about if it was atheists coming out saying we have to take the Christian kids away from the Christian parents. You'd go freaking nuts. But when it's Christians taking atheist kids away from their atheist parents, you're all for that. But you never think of things from both sides. It's always one-sided with you.
Yeah, you think that the Christian faith is already under attack by the world of the atheists, but you don't see this as the exact same perception. That you're going to, try to be all for children being taken away from atheist parents because they need to be sent to Christian school.
I don't 100% agree with all the Christian values, but I sure as hell don't think that Christian kids should be taken away from their Christian parents. What I look at is there harm there? And no kid is being hurt by not believing in God. And no kid is being hurt by believing in God. It's all about actions.
Right.
No kid is being hurt by saying, I believe this or I don't believe this. It's when you take action according to what you believe that matters. So this kid not believing in God is just as bad as him not believing in Santa or the damn Easter Bunny. It doesn't matter. Are you going to take a kid away from their parents because they say you don't believe in Santa or a tooth fairy anymore? I mean, it's the same thing. It's ridiculous. It all comes down to, I believe this, but you believe something else, and what you believe isn't what I believe, so you're screwing up and we should take your kids away. No, it's not that simple. Is the parent teaching the kid to go kill people? Is the parent teaching the kid to go be rude and mean to other people? No. And if you believe that, then you don't understand anything about what atheist is, and you would obviously don't understand that atheists, just as much as Christians and anyone else who's religious, can have morals. Morality is not just for the faithful. Morality is for everybody. We can all believe it with or without a God. And that's the problem, is you think that because the kid is being taught to be atheist, that the kid's going to grow up to be this terrible person who murders and pillages, and, that's just not how it is. Educate yourself, get to know people of other faiths and other ideas before you say take their kids away. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And it's the whole thing of having, being so opinionated towards other people for no good reason, when you have no good explanation, you don't have any facts, you have no research involved in your defense except for whatever the hell comes to your head, that atheists are evil, and if there really was no God, we're going to go out and we're going to kill millions of people, and we're endangering our kids because we're not teaching them about God. Well, what about us teaching our kids to be free thinkers and to ask questions and want to know about everything that they could possibly know about in the world? And you know what, if they're children of atheist parents and they decided that they wanted to be religious or follow any other religion, then that's fine, but at least it is their decision, and we have allowed them to have their own free mind space to figure things out and research things and come to their own conclusion. We're not forcing them into anything and telling them that if they don't follow these rules, they will burn in hell for eternity. Who deserves to burn in hell for eternity? That's something that you think is okay to teach your children?
Now, what I think is worse is that he not only wants to take the kids away, but he thinks that they should be sent to a religious school where they can be taught even more crazy stuff. Well, I mean, if that's what you believe, you can send your children to that, but don't tell someone else that we need to take your kids away and put them in our institution. Atheists aren't going to sit there and say, let's take your Christian kids away and put them in like an atheist institution, which doesn't even exist. But still, I mean, we're not going to push our agenda on you, and you shouldn't push your agenda on other people.
Especially when you know nothing about atheism. You realize a lot of atheists are that way because they were raised Christian, Catholic, they were raised in a strict, strong, religious environment, and that's how they came to be what they are, by researching and learning all of the horrible things that are in the Bible. Or I'm sorry, I'm not super educated on all other religions, but you can't sit here and judge parents and judge anything about the children or our lifestyle when you know nothing about it. Do your research. The only reason you're offended is because you don't have anything behind your belt, so you think that atheists are just crazy killers who have no rules and no morals, only because we don't have anybody to answer to. Not just because that's just the right thing to do, is to be a good human being and teach your children to be good human beings as well, and to develop into a strong, mindful person who can think for themselves. I don't know. Just think it's all a bunch of bullshit, honestly. I mean, just as much as, many people think that religion is dangerous. I mean, tell me that if this wasn't on the other end of the spectrum and there was an atheist on TV and said, well, that child should be taken out of that Christian home because they're teaching them dangerous values and they're brainwashing them, tell me the tables wouldn't be turned and America wouldn't have exploded with controversy over that if the situation was flipped backwards.
What it all boils down to is basically this. They're not hurting anybody by teaching their child to be atheist, and it's not your kid. You can't tell them what to do with their kids. If no one's being harmed, then it all just comes down to matter of opinion and how each individual thinks that their child should be raised. No one's actually being hurt, and it's not your kids. So shut the fuck up.
Well, and the funny thing is Pat Robertson is basically telling this grandparent, you need to get the child away immediately and enroll the child in, a Christian school. Number one, what makes you think that the parents are going to agree to that? And without the parents' approval, just because you're a grandparent, unless you are not that parent, you can't just go enroll any random child into a school. And besides that, what? Do you think they should actually be taken away from the parents because the parents are atheists? Do you think you're going to go to court and you're going to just tell the judge, well, they're not taking their kids to Christian schools or teaching them about the Bible or anything like that, so I think they should be removed from the home immediately. What kind of logical person in the world would actually even consider that an option, like a judge would approve to have children taken away because they're not being taught about freaking God in the Bible? Like, really? I mean, what's his end game here? Like, does he really think that would be a possibility, that some grandparent could just come take the kid and say, you're not teaching them the right things, I'm going to take custody of them and I'm going to take them to a Christian school? Well,
because he's not thinking all the way through it. But obviously Pat Robertson never thinks all the way through fucking anything.
Yeah, so. I mean, you obviously have to be missing about 90% of reality to say the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, try to enroll some kids that you don't have any custody of into school. I mean,
exactly.
Like that's not a lawsuit waiting to happen,
right? Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So Pat Robertson's fucking old ass. Seriously, he just needs to shut the fuck up. I mean, at this point, I definitely don't think he's at an age where he's gonna change or where anybody is going to change his mind. But, bottom line, even besides Pat Robertson, is, all of the views towards atheists is all unresearched. A lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what we believe, what we don't believe, how we live our life, because all they know is if we're not living our life by God's standards and worrying about if we're gonna go to heaven or hell or not, then we're horrible people. Just fucking do your research. Just, if you're gonna fucking attack people and have your opinions, just know a little bit more and make sure that your position is backed up.
And anyway, I'm not too worried about Pat Robertson anyway. He's been blowing empty farts since the fucking 60s. So, fuck him.
Fuck him. Fuck him. Yeah.
So we are the lazy, opinionated punks.
We are.
Subscribe,
and we'll be coming out with lots more.
Peace.
Deuces.
Corporate attack, they're so control.